Investigations into the downing of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH17 are unable to go full throttle. Ukrainian and Dutch probers claim pro-Moscow rebels are interfering with efforts to secure the crash site. In response, the Netherlands plans to bring in its special police force to aid in the operations. Roanna Jamir tells us more.
After Malaysia Airlines Flight MH17 was blown out of the sky last week, multinational investigations into the tragedy are now allegedly being hampered by armed separatists in the crash site. The pro-Russian rebels are seen to have been responsible for downing the jetliner, with weapons supposedly supplied by Moscow. The head of Ukraine's emergency services and the chief of a Dutch police mission said they were chased away at gunpoint by the rebels, who also took away their tents at the base camp. The Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, however, said there have been no such incident, adding that experts from Malaysia and Australia are also joining the probe. The Netherlands formally took over the crash investigation from Ukraine after members of the United Nations Security Council on Monday unanimously condemned the tragedy and demanded armed groups to allow full and safe access to the crash site. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte on Thursday told a news conference the Netherlands will send 40 members of its Royal Gendarmerie to eastern Ukraine to aid in the probe and speed up the recovery of the remaining bodies of the victims. So far, 203 bodies have been recovered from the site, over half of which have already been flown to the Netherlands. More remains will be flown to the country on Friday and Saturday to undergo an identification process that may go on for months. 2 Dutch experts of the National Forensic Investigation Team are now also on the way to the disaster area to conduct their own investigation. One factor seen to affect the ongoing probe into the crash in eastern Ukraine is Ukrainian Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk. The Prime Minister tendered his resignation over the collapse of the parliament's ruling coalition. Political analysts, however, said Yatsenyuk cannot leave office yet, as he is obliged to oversee duties until a new prime minister is installed. Meantime, the Netherlands Prime Minister also said on Thursday in The Hague that he would like those charged to be prosecuted in the Netherlands. He says for various reasons, the International Criminal Court is less suitable for the type of situation and crime. He also reaffirmed his country's support for further penalties to be levied against Russia after it stirred up tensions earlier this year and fired up separatist sentiments with its annexation of the Crimea in the Ukraine.
Has not changed. We have always been in favor of sanctions vis-à-vis Russia. The Foreign Affairs Council came to quite far-reaching conclusions on Tuesday on speeding up and deepening the existing sanctions, whilst at the same time preparing sanctions in the areas of finance, dual-use material, and the energy sector.
Roanna Jamir reporting.